Thank you very much, my brother, for the humbling words, and I appreciate them. I love the word that you mentioned in your speech. You said intention,
Yes,
being intentional.
yes, yes.
You have to be intentional. It's like with parenting. With parenting, you have to be intentional. What type of child do you like to produce in this house? What type of child, you know, would would you like these children to become in the future? So us as the parents, we have to be intentional about our parenting as to the type of outcome based on this input that we're going to be putting all these years, or we are putting in now in these children or in this child. Intentional parenting, being intentional about pushing our brands, about pushing local, about living that lifestyle, and being about it unapologetically, unashamedly so. Being intentional, right? It's being intentional. I'm being intentional about it. My house, they know. My children know. Everyone in my house knows. We rock local. We drink local. We rock local. We wear local. We wear local brands. Um, we even have a rule: at least one item a day. For those who like coming up with excuses to say, yeah, but every day, daddy, every day. I'm like, it's okay, you can wear your Adidas and your Nike, but at least, like, it must just be, because if it's not every day, you end up skipping gym once, right? You end up skipping it twice. The next thing you know, you haven't been to the gym for 3 months. The next thing you know, the last time you were at the gym was 2 years ago. The next thing you know, you're unhealthy now because you no longer go to the gym, right? So we have to be intentional. We can't skip gym. We're intentional. We're living this life. We have to go to the gym. We have to eat right. We're intentional about gym. We're intentional about our healthy living, our healthy lifestyle. It's the same thing. We're intentional about parenting this child this way. We're intentional about the type of outcomes we want in the next couple of decades through this education we are pouring into this job. We're intentional about this lifestyle that we're living, about birthing local, creating local, promoting local, being about local, being proudly local. Then yes, you can give people a leeway because you can't be unrealistic. They call it that. They call it being, sometimes you become too unrealistic. You expect us to always be local, get a kaboom, because I know if I put that standard, I know they're gonna say that, but at least they'll have one item. Because if I become too barking less strict, my family will be like, yeah, my daddy won't mind. And then before you know it, nobody wears local anymore. They've forgotten. So I have to be intentional. I have to be reminding them. I have to be, even if I don't verbally remind them, when they see me, they must remember that, daddy and his local stuff, uncle and his local stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but this one is all about local. This one is all about local brands, right? So even when I'm wearing international brands, I'll wear maybe a brand that's affiliated with a black person overseas, right? Maybe I'll wear Kanye brand, or I'll wear uh, maybe working. Pharrell has come up with a collaboration with Louis Vuitton. Maybe if I were to wear Louis Vuitton, I'll probably wear one of Pharrell's collaborative products, right? Because I know Pharrell or a black family or a black individual, a black person somehow benefits out of it. That's better, right? But yes, people will say it's unrealistic. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that so as to not forget this thing, because this colonialist mindset that we've been indoctrinated with. How do you leave it though? Because you can't buy a local car yet. You can't get a lot of things local yet. You can't We can't stop speaking this English language, right? We can't There's a lot of things that we can't undo, but the ones that we can undo, let's undo them, because they're undoable. So let's undo them, and let's be intentional about undoing them. And yes, we understand we can't undo everything. Like now, are you saying we're not going to be eating fork and knife? But some of it also you need to remember, and I was asking Bishop Joshua Maponga this, like, do we throw the baby with the bathwater? What is it that is still good from colonialism that we keep? And what is it that we unlearn? What is it that we stop doing? And a beautiful another layer of that conversation came up and said, now remember also that the civilization that the Greeks claim to have come up with, it's civilization they stole from Egypt, they stole from Africa. A lot of the information comes from those books that they stole from the library of Alexandria, Abu Aristotle and Abu Pythagoras and them. Then that library was burned. But that mindset, that that intelligence, that civilization, as the world attributes it to the Greeks, A lot of it comes from Africa. So how do we know that they stole some of our things, they redid them their own way or tried to make them their own way or better in their own way, and then they sell them back to us? And then because we are trying to go through this process of unlearning a lot of things, what is it that we don't want from colonialism, or we're not unlearning? And what if some of the things that we want to unlearn are actually good for us because they were actually initially stolen from us? You know what I mean? So as much as we are unlearning this thing, that's why then knowledge is power. We need to go deeper down that rabbit hole of going to go search through to find self. Knowledge of self is the best knowledge you can ever acquire in this world because it makes you free. It makes you understand that you are a God, a small letter G, right? Because it's giving you that permission. You are made in His image. You are a small letter G. You are a creator yourself. So stop looking for solutions and answers from the outside because all of the answers are in here. You are your own God. You are a creator of your own universe. Right? I always say to young people, it's not the world that you get into a transport and get into a flamachin and go see. The world is in here. Right? So work in here. Work on this person. Work on this. It's all internal. It's all in here. Right? So we have to be intentional about everything while we are acquiring and attaining knowledge. And that's the knowledge that I have been going through. And as I go through it, it manifests itself through the decisions that I take. So when I start letting my hair grow, or letting my beard grow, and I start deciding to wear more and more local, I start being less and less about materialistic things. Those are the decisions that are coming out of this knowledge that I've been attaining over the years. It's pretty much all of that, that knowledge, and people will see you and say, you are crazy because you're hugging trees. You're crazy because you're walking barefoot. And they forget that the people of song, Abangoma, the people of Ntu, the original people of this continent, when you look at also the life expectancy, it has dropped. Our parents, our great parents lived very, very long lives because they were more in touch with that nature, right? We eat processed foods. We insulate our shoes. We're not working both barefooted. We don't connect to that grounded energy that comes from the earth. We are not being one with the earth. And that's what the people who are running the earth, the world want. They want to separate you from your knowledge of self. They want to separate you from nature. And nature is your teacher. You are nature. You are God because you are water. You are the four elements of life itself because God created heaven and earth. God created all of this. And all of this is you, and you are it. And the knowledge that you're attaining, all of these distractions, tends to sort of separate us from the truth. And when it separates us from the truth, we're not living our best selves. We're not being in touch with, for every human ailment, there is a plant for a solution, right? So we have to understand these plants. We have to understand these trees. Why is it that there are certain type of trees every time nangena kulama business wale ingamba? Is there anything about this tree? Why is that this tree I always see it in all these companies that I go into? What's significant about that tree? Akusiyi ingambla. Ingambla zithathe leyo knowledge kubokhokho bakho and ziyayi-understand leyo knowledge. That's why njalo kumabhizinisi wazo zinale ihlahla lezi. Yini igama lalesihlahla? Oh, bathi lesihlahla lesi silethe iy'nhlanhla. Siyiletha kanjani iy'nhlanhla? Go ask your grandmother. She's got all of those solutions. But why is it that those teachings are with Ingamla? And then when you attribute that intelligence to Ingamla, wow, emabhizinisini wabo baney'nhlahliso. Oh, wow, umhlonyane. Oh, wow. These things are just all organic. They come from the earth, from the ground. What these people do, they just take these plants as they are. They just boil these plants. And then the Western education brainwashes you against that which comes from the earth, and it was just put in water and it was boiled. And for somebody who understands medicine, somebody who understands imiti, they'll tell you mix this one with that one. That's what it heals. No. Don't put this much. Put this much dosage of that one. Take that one, grind it. After you grind it, take that other one, mix them together, shake them like this, put them in a container, put water, boil it. That's all they do. They don't put in chemicals. All these people that you call inyanga, most of them, they don't put in chemicals. These things are just trees and plants. They just chop them up and they shred them and they mix them together because they understand medicine because of that ancient knowledge of Pumakwana Laikaya. And they'll tell you this is what it will heal. That is what it will heal. And that person would be called a herbalist. But somebody else can say, no, this person is not a doctor. This person are gonna 7 years experience at Wits University. This person cannot be a pharmacist. This person is going to kill you. This person is not accredited to heal anyone. Do you understand, right? So because there is just always that destruction that happens, and there's just always this indoctrination that comes in. That's why we have to be intentional about everything to undo everything. And when I say everything, I don't mean everything, as I did say earlier. What do we undo? What do we not? What is originally ours? It was remixed and brought back to us, but it actually belongs to us. Do we also unlearn that? The gold, the ferrochrome, the coal, the aluminium, the platinum, the diamonds that come from us. They get dug out, they come out at next to nothing, and they come back as a form of jewelry, right? And you and I are bragging about that jewelry. It was dug out from your own land. Yes, some of you guys come from here in Mpumalanga. You leave diamond just right under your feet. You leave coal right under your feet. And you coming, all of you guys, to Johannesburg to search for opportunities, but you left platinum under your feet, Guinea. Eplazini lakababu wakho. Lelo wena ungalifuni, ufuna indlu la eSandton. Waterfall bazokufuna 3 million just for a piece of 2,000, not even 2,000 squares, 1,000 squares Waterfall, 3 meters. 1,000 squares eStain City, 5 meters. Mara uyekela iplaza le 20 hectares legini. And futhi you don't know ukuthi ngaphansi kunama mineral phezulu kwalo. Rich mustano wena. Unalithelete ukhosi man. You're Mansa Musa, but you are coming here in Joburg asking, begging for a job. Come on. We have to do better. And are all of these people really zamazamas? Are they all really bad people? Yes, those who kill people are bad people. Yes, because they're not doing it legally. But what is a form of way that we can sort of come up with to make these guys legal? Because these are artisanal miners. These are actually miners. These are actually mining the land of Abu Koko Nabu Mkuluhabu. Actually, these guys are better than you and I. But what does indoctrination say? Say police each other, put laws, put all of these obstacles so that you police each other. These minerals are only for us. When we come into that country, we dig it out. We've got a formula. There's a way in how we're going to pay these guys minimum wage. You guys work for us. Anyone that doesn't want to work for us but want to go repeat the same thing, they are a zamazama. They are off the system. They are a bad person. It's not good to be a zamazama, right? That's another conversation to be had, which is the same thing when most of these brands, the whole world makes their brand through the 24-hour labor that the Asian communities apply. And we all know they're very good in churning out production like crazy. Go to China, they're always working. Different shifts, 24 hours, they're putting out production. And then they're going to tell you that other iPhone is fake. But it's actually the same thing. It was made by the same people. It's the same guy kata kulungisela le kareko ePM. Mara wena umbona manje ngeweekend kwakhe. Ulungisa imoto kwakhe. Hayi la ulungisa imoto la kwakhe la elokishini osowethu ezola la kungcolile egcwele ama street. Mara uye lo muntu lo mande usebenza le kule BM. Wena just that ujwayela ukuya songena lapha eBMW uzoyipaka. Iyolungiswa uye lo muntu, the same person le moto. Uye loyana waselokishini.
Here you pay 1.5, there you pay 36,000.
Uyangifrutana.
Yes.